Hello everyone. This is Ty from Ty Hot Takes coming at you with a Nintendo update, and quite frankly, not a fucking super happy one because yesterday at Nintendo's Direct, I would say the Direct was all around pretty hype, pretty cool. We got a lot of updates on Nintendo games that people are already looking forward to and are hyped about, so we got to see a little bit more footage of Metroid Prime 4, Kirby Air Riders, stuff like that. There was a new Mario Tennis Fever game announced, as well as a new Yoshi game. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Super Mario Galaxy plus Super Mario Galaxy 2 bundle. And the main reason I'm upset about this, at least a little bit, I not that upset about it, but I'm upset about it enough to make a video about it, is the fact that this game is 70 fucking dollars. And oh my god, these are literal Wii ROMs from 15 years ago. And instead of charging maybe what might be a fair price, I'd say is 20 bucks a pop, maybe 25 if you're really pushing it. But yeah, this is $70 for two fucking Wii games. And yeah, I think Nintendo is really trying to push what they're able to get away with when it comes to their game preservation efforts, I guess you could call this. Like, honestly, I would always rather have the ability to play older Mario games or whatever, part of Nintendo's legacy that you could think of, like Donkey Kong games or whatever. It doesn't matter. But I prefer Nintendo to preserve these games and have them playable on modern systems rather than not. So even if I think this is a shitty value proposition for 70 bucks, I still would rather these games be preserved in some way on modern systems. But yeah, Nintendo is really reaching here, if you ask me. I have to admit, I fell for the last time Nintendo did something like this back in September 2020 when they came out with oh, that's upside down. When they came out with the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection, and that game was at least 60 bucks, and it included three games: Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and also Super Mario Galaxy. So even though $60 for a ROM collection basically is what it is in 2020, like, I remember people scoffed at that back then, but I sort of justified it because I wanted a way to play Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine on my Nintendo Switch. Those are two of my favorite Mario games ever, and I just wanted to play them in a way that was convenient for me to play on my couch. And that's realistically how most casual gamers are going to be playing these legacy Mario games going forward. Like, I consider myself to be an advanced emulator user. I was about to say I'm an expert on emulators, but I'm not a developer, so I can't call myself that kind of expert, but I am an expert at using emulation. And when it comes to whether or not I want to play Mario Galaxy or Mario Galaxy 2, I could do so easily on the Dolphin emulator on PC, Android, name your device, and I could get it running pretty easily, don't tell Nintendo. But your average casual Mario enjoyer is simply not going to jump through those hoops as easy as they may be. Like, I don't think it's super complicated to teach somebody how to fire up an emulator and how to use their legally purchased backups. And even though emulation is simple, just there's something about the convenience of having a game that's already packaged and put together by Nintendo and having it available on a genuine Nintendo console and play it on your TV with a Nintendo controller. There's just simply no complete replacement for that type of experience that most casuals are looking for. And I think some people that are protesting this $70 price tag, I agree with you guys, by the way. This price tag is kind of bullshit, but I've seen a lot of people recommend, like, you should just emulate Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, you dummy. And I'm like, well, that's not really the point. The point of this collection is supposed to be it's a convenient package that you could just fire up and you don't have to think about anything except for the money that you're spending. And that's why, even though I don't like the price tag here, I do think that it's still important that these games be available in some way or form on an official Nintendo console. Like, just think about this for a minute. If you want to play let's say Pokemon Red from 1996, or you want to play, I don't know, Pokemon Crystal, Gold, whatever. Your two best options for playing those games as of right now, unless things change in the future, as of things are right now, the only way to play those legacy Pokemon games is by either playing it on real hardware, so you'd have to whip out your old 20 something year old cartridge and pop it in a real Game Boy Color, or you'd have to simply pirate it. And both of those options, buying the physical cartridge off of eBay or whatever, or emulating it through piracy, let's just call it what it is. It's piracy. I don't judge you for doing so, because I might partake in some of that stuff myself. But yeah, both of those options do not make Nintendo any money. And I think it's really silly that Game Freak or the Pokemon Company or Nintendo does not have the legacy Pokemon collection from the Game Boy Color to the Nintendo DS. I do not know why basically none of those games are preserved in digital form as of right now, at least not on an official Nintendo console. If they were to release a Pokemon collection, maybe they could do it in waves or whatever. They could come out with the Game Boy collection, then maybe the DS games, I don't know. But yeah, the current state of Pokemon game preservation is honestly really sad on official Nintendo hardware, and it's only okay if you're an advanced user that's comfortable with using emulators and you find that to be your preferred way of playing old Pokemon or whatever. But sadly, your average consumer would rather just have a ROM collection of sorts, or the ability to play the Pokemon games on Nintendo Online or whatever. And that's another subject too. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of Nintendo Online when it comes to accessing your old game libraries, like NES games, SNES games. You just get whatever games that Nintendo has picked out for you. And so if you're lucky, your favorite NES game might be on the $20 Nintendo Online subscription, or your favorite N64 game might be available on the $50 expansion pack subscription, which I'm still kind of salty about, because I think it's silly to be paying an extra $30 a year just to play N64 games and Sega Genesis games. Like, I think it's cool that they're there for those people that would rather pay for this subscription than get into emulation, but I don't like the way that Nintendo kind of slowly rolls out the game libraries for this subscription. And to me, it's just not the best value, because I could emulate already, and I also prefer at least being able to pretend like I have some ownership of my digital games. Like, if I were to give in to this expensive price tag right now and buy Mario Galaxy or the bundle for $70 on the Nintendo eShop, at least that's going to sit in my library and I could have it for years to come without needing to renew my subscription or remember to renew it. You know, sometimes you forget, and I think it's just nicer to be able to feel like you have some sort of ownership over your games. And actually, even better if you have a physical copy, although that the way of physicals is also going the way of the dodo right now. But at least I preferred the way that things used to be on the Nintendo Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS virtual consoles, where I could just buy whatever retro game piqued my interest at the time, maybe purchase it for 10, $15 or whatever, and I would just be happy with that, instead of needing to be plugged into some Nintendo online service that we didn't used to have to be subscribed to 10 years ago. So even though I still think that $70 is outrageous for two Wii ROMs, and frankly, it's kind of pricing me out of caring about this at the moment, even though that's the case, at least those games are available forever and ever in your Nintendo Online library or in your physical library if you decide to buy the Galaxy bundle in physical. Also, another thing of note that came from this direct was they've got a Virtual Boy kind of like casing for your Switch. So you take your Nintendo Switch and you plop it into this like plastic Virtual Boy device, and then it turns your Nintendo Switch into a display screen for the Virtual Boy, which you stick your face into, so it becomes a Virtual Boy, kind of like the way that you would have played it in 1995. And I think that's like sort of neat as a novelty, but holy crap, dude, this, at least the plastic casing is $100, and at least they have an option for a Virtual Boy cardboard model. But this one is $25 for cardboard, by the way. Side note, but I wish that Nintendo had like a do-it-yourself type option for like cardboard Switch accessories, because it's like, dude, you're paying for literal cardboard. Like, people are smart enough to take a blueprint, if you were to give them one, and make their own like cardboard Switch accessory, but Nintendo's no fun, and they just want you to fork over the $25 for this Virtual Boy Switch accessory. I guess it's better than only having the $100 option, but the catch with both of these is that in order to access your Virtual Boy library with the accessory, you also need a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack subscription. So we're not even talking about the $20 bare minimum subscription that comes with the NES and the SNES library. No, we're talking about the $50 per year subscription. And I just think that's a little bit lousy, because not everyone cares about forking over $50 a year for the subscription, and it would have been nice if they had included the Virtual Boy games with the Virtual Boy accessory. And yeah, I'm starting to sound like a broken record here, but I'm not the biggest fan of playing my retro games from 20 plus years ago on a current subscription model that I need to be subscribed to every single year, you know? Let's not even get started on the $50, let me repeat that, $50 Kirby Amiibos that were announced to come with the release of Kirby Air Riders on the Switch 2. Like, I do think that these Amiibos do look like they are of good quality. It comes with a figure. You either get Kirby or you get the Waddle Dee figure, and each of these come with an Air Riders vehicle. I think that's cool. But $50, man, like, Nintendo is just finding more and more ways to reach, and I'm just fucking tired of it, and so are a lot of other consumers. Now, time will tell if people get tired of it. I know a lot of people really don't expect Nintendo to take a hit for these cash grabs and whatnot, but I do certainly think that there is a certain portion of Nintendo's gamer base that is just being priced out left and right. Like, I know Nintendo, these coming years with the Switch 2's life cycle, Nintendo is probably not going to be hurting for money, but I do have to wonder if they could be a little bit more business efficient if they had fairer pricing and didn't price out people like me. You know, I'm looking at this $50 Amiibo and I'm just like, fuck that. I was down for Amiibos when these were like $20. Even like, I might be able to part ways with $30 for an Amiibo, honestly. I mean, some of these are really good quality. Like this one right here, the Twilight Princess, Midna, and Wolflink Amiibo, I think is really cool. It's very high quality, and it's honestly one of my favorite Amiibos in my collection so far. And I forget, I think that was either a $25 or a $30 Amiibo that came alongside the Twilight Princess HD release on the Wii U. But I just bring that up to say that I'm down for Amiibo, but $50 Amiibo is... you kind of lost me there, Nintendo. Honestly, in my opinion, this might have been one of the greediest directs in Nintendo's direct history thus far. I mean, I know that Nintendo has been gung-ho on, you gotta buy more and more Amiibos, we got DLC packs, we got, you know, as I mentioned earlier, this Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection wasn't exactly cheap either. This was $60. And on top of it being $60, it was also a time-limited release, meaning the game was only on the physical cartridge market and the digital market for about 6 months, which was really bizarre, especially on the digital market, where you'd think a collection game like this should be archived and live on on the Nintendo Switch library forever and ever, but instead Nintendo was like, nah, we'll just make this game artificially scarce because that's an incentive to get you to rush out and buy the game as fast as possible for $60 and not even think twice about it. So yeah, that was definitely a peak moment of Nintendo greed if you ask me, but I did buy it anyway. And just because I bought a thing doesn't mean I'm not allowed to complain about the thing. I think that's common sense if you ask me. But anyways, guys, are you sick of Nintendo's cash grabby bullshit? Are you happy with being able to play Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 in a convenient little bundle for the Nintendo Switch 1 and 2? Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this and other controversies that might have come up in the September Direct of 2025. Anyways, guys, this has been Ty from Ty Hot Takes. I'm signing out now, and I'll see y'all the fuck later. Peace out.